What's the difference between front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive? Also briefly explain the difference between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Starting things off in the modern era, front-wheel drive is the most common. When the engine in your vehicle is running and you put it into drive, it's engaging the transmission, which is sending power to the wheels so that you can move forward. That power has to go somewhere, either the front, rear, or all the wheels. Thus, front-wheel drive, the power is being sent to the two front wheels. You may ask, well, what about the rear wheels? What are they doing? Well, they are just free spinning on the bearing of the axle. They're not getting any of the power. They are just a wheel on a wheel hub. The power that is sent from the transmission to the wheels is being distributed usually by a transfer case or a differential. It could be a limited slip differential, a regular differential. But with a transfer case or differential, it is sending power either to the left or the right wheel, depending on if you're turning right or left. And with modern drive systems, there can be a lot of computers involved that can sense when you're losing traction on one side or the other. So it's able to send the majority of the power to one single wheel in the front on the left or right. Now, rear-wheel drive can be a little different. In most vehicles, the engine is in the front, and if you're sending power to the rear, well, how do you get it there? You use something called a drive shaft, and it connects from your transmission at the front of the vehicle by the engine and goes all the way to the rear differential that sits between your two rear wheels. Thus, the engine makes power, sends it through the transmission's connected to this long drive shaft to the back of the vehicle, sends it through that to your differential, which then distributes it to each axle in the rear. And it works very similarly to the front wheel drive, that it sends power to the back two wheels and can distribute all the power to either side, one wheel or the other. Now, when it comes to all-wheel drive, this can get a little bit more complicated. Yes, you hear all, which means all four wheels are receiving power or can receive power from the engine. But this can be more complicated as well. It can involve multiple differentials, drive shafts, computers, and overall more moving components under the car. All-wheel drives tend to be more intelligent as well, meaning that they are able to send power to one individual wheel. They're able to send power all the way to the rear or all the way to the front, depending on the setup of the all-wheel drive system. Some all-wheel drive systems are rear-wheel biased, so when you're just doing normal driving, it's sending 70-80% of the power all the time to the rear wheels. Some are front-wheel drive biased, so they send the majority of the power to the front wheels. And then if you get in a case where the roads are slippery, say there's snow, rain, whatever, it can distribute power differently. So it can send it to one individual wheel that's slipping, or it can send it to one axle or one front or rear that's slipping. So all-wheel drive can be a little more complex, but it can also be a lot safer than, say, front-wheel drive. Now you may say, well, I know about all-wheel drive, but what's the difference between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive? Isn't that the same thing? The answer is yes and no. Yes, it can be the same thing, but with four-wheel drive, you are changing it manually inside the vehicle in some way. Four-wheel drive tends to be a lot more mechanical, a lot more analog, would you say? There is usually a lever or a button in the vehicle where it can actually engage different modes of four-wheel drive, such as four high or four low. When these drive modes are not engaged, it's sending 100% of the power to the rear wheels. But say you have a snowy day and you need more traction, you would grab that lever in the vehicle and put it into four high. This would then engage power to the front wheels as well. In four high, the differentials are open, so they're not locked. They're able to spin wheels when you go around corners. The outside wheel will move faster than the inside wheel and vice versa. But you put it in four low, it will actually lock the differential so that all the wheels will spin at the same speed, despite you turning left or right. Typically, you would only use four low in low speed situations where maybe you get stuck in the mud or in a ditch or something where you need all of the traction to all of the wheels all of the time. But with four-wheel drive, you will be driving in two-wheel drive most of the time, sending power to the rear.